We're 2 weeks away from the NFL draft, and 11 first-round picks have already been traded. Yeah, half the league is now following the Rams model. They're saying F them picks. But newsflash, most of them are going to fail, and I'm going to tell you why today. Good morning, I'm James. This is your daily dose of sports and snark for the greatest sports city in the world, Los Angeles. This is Faithful Angelenos. It is April 15th, 2022. It is a glorious day. Can't wait to get out and enjoy the sun. If you like the content we've been putting out for the last month and a half, by all means, clickety-clack the like button. Clickety-clack the subscribe button. There's a notifications bell. Hit that. We put out a new video. It'll let you know every day between 9 and 10 a.m. Sharing is caring. Let people know we exist. And by all means, comment. I am not God. I don't know everything. Before we go into the main topic of Rams football and the NFL draft, let's go through the scoreboard and notes. Starting off with last night, the Dodgers defeated the Cincinnati Reds 9-3. The Dodgers are now tied for first place in the NL West. As for tonight, the Dodgers and Reds will face off again at 7 and in the NBA with a winner-take-all for the NBA playoff spots on the line. New Orleans plays the Clippers at 7. The winner, they go on to get humiliated by Phoenix. It is what it is. Let's do some notes before we get in. Start off with some USC football, and I am an attention whore. I am going to start by patting myself on the back. Lincoln Riley. I predicted this, that for the Trojans to succeed, they would have to run the football despite the so-called air raid offense. Coach Lincoln Riley bristles at the name air raid because he's committed to the run. He told the Times so a couple of days ago. Now, the LA Times tried to establish why Lincoln Riley's version of the air raid works with the running game, and they just named some names because they couldn't figure it out. I would recommend going through my video clips, look up Trojans on my channel. I actually break down how Graham Harrell's version of the air raid failed, as opposed to what Lincoln Riley's will do with establishing the run. The upshot is that they pull additional linemen from one side to the other, flood where the ball is going to go, create mismatches, and power their way down the field. Also, for the Trojans, four-star linebacker Dylan Williams has committed to playing for the Trojans. He's from Long Beach Poly. The only catch, he's class 2024, so the Trojans are not going to reap any rewards from that for at least another year. Former coach Ed Orgeron tells Notre Dame they are going to win it all. Now look, coach, I liked you. I really did. And I'm sorry SC hired a drunkard instead of giving you the full-time gig. You have got to let it go. Grudges are not attractive. I know. I hold a lot of grudges. I'm not attractive. You need to drop it. You won a national title with LSU. Stop it. Let it go. All right? Let's switch over to soccer. Leagues Cup. There was a doubleheader that was announced. It'll be held at SoFi Stadium in August. The LA Galaxy will play Chivas Guadalajara. LAFC will play Club America. If you are Latino, I invite you to laugh hysterically at my fake attempts at a Spanish accent. Chivas president Amari Vergara says, "I'm sure it will be a party." Yeah. Now, my Spanish is a little limited. Does party translate to race riot? I'm here to tell you, man, I want no part of this for any reason whatsoever. Those Liga MX teams, their fans, oh hell no. They're still counting the dead from a game that was played about 3 weeks ago. They don't know how many people died yet, let alone who killed who. And now you're going to bring that to LA? I mean, yeah, we've had experience in LA of those type of parties in the past. I remember the Rodney King party very well. I didn't like it. Oh, the swag bag for a lot of people who went to the Rodney King party was great, but I didn't like it. Serious note, though. Some people have asked why the World Cup final can't be held at SoFi Stadium, and we found out the reason. It was pretty obvious. SoFi Stadium, the pitch would be too narrow, and FIFA rightfully insists on having a wide enough pitch for a world-class soccer game. So Leagues Cup, sure. World Cup, no. Player transaction news, the Rams re-signed kicker Matt Gay. Okay, I'm cool with it. But let's start off by, let's shift gears and talk about the Rams draft strategy. Now, before we go into the whole strategy part, I want to start by thanking the Rams for showing us all that the first round of the NFL draft is nothing but hyperbolic bullcrap, okay? The draft was supposed to be about improving your team. It was never meant to be a 3-day extravaganza, okay? I don't want to hear people complaining about how long the Oscars are, because at least the Oscars aren't 3 days. Nobody wants to see Amy Schumer for 3 days, and I don't want to see Chris Berman for 3 days. Does that make sense? I mean, I just want an end to the hype. All I want is, how does this improve the team? I do not want to see first round failures pimp walking down a red carpet. I don't want to see it. There's no velvet rope at Lambeau Field. I want an end to idiots flying across the country so that they can paint their face and wear neon colored jerseys with a whole bunch of sequins trying to get on TV. I hate that. I don't need the giant scoreboard screaming the pick is in. I'm not stupid. I know when the pick is in. I don't want Roger Goodell faking us all, pretending he's so down with social justice because he does this to every player. I don't want it. Nobody should care about Mel Kiper's hair. Nobody. Okay? The Rams want no part of it, and neither do I. Thank you, Rams. I appreciate that. Now let's get to the whole thing. Now the NFL, we've always heard about this, about how it's a copycat league, and we first learned this pretty much in the 1980s. You know, the USFL, they had a couple teams running the run and shoot, and then so the Lions and the Saints did. The Bears win a Super Bowl, everybody tries to run the 46D. Then, of course, there's the Wildcat, the Stray Cat, the Dead Cat, the Read Option, the RPO, copy. And so now that the Rams have won a Super Bowl, F them picks. Giving up your first round draft pick is becoming a trend. And it might be a trend for two reasons. One, of course, the Super Bowl win, because it bucked conventional wisdom. And second, many teams are starting to realize if you fail to hit on your first round pick, you've lost millions of dollars on one person, and that's really hard to stomach. But it might be helpful to explain to the sports writers and to the GMs why the Rams' approach wasn't as reckless as they originally thought. First of all, the Rams did build their foundation on high-end first-round draft picks. The foundation, Aaron Donald, top 10 pick. Former quarterback Jared Goff was a number 1 overall pick. Running back Todd Gurley, I think he was top 5. Remember him? So those picks, they opened the window when they hired coach Sean McVay. And once the Rams knew that they had something, GM Les Snead went for this approach of trading unknown qualities, whatever, draft picks, for known quantities. And so everybody thought it was reckless, and then later on, people were like, well, wait a second. Did they really overpay for Jalen Ramsey? Because what did the Jaguars do with those picks? They blew it, right? There are also studies that suggest that the Rams model works, at least in terms of financial value, that whole thing about giving a first-round pick millions of dollars for nothing. But there's more to it, and that's where I am going to tell you how these other teams are going to fail, probably with F them picks. How close is your team to opening the championship window? That's the first question when you say F them picks. Are the Miami Dolphins one player away from opening their championship window? They said F them picks. They sent a whole bunch of them to Kansas City for one guy, Tyreek Hill. Now, were they one skill player away? Were they? Because they didn't even make the playoffs last year. Now they're Super Bowl contenders? We don't know. But they said F them picks. They also hired a brand new coaching staff, and they don't know if that new coaching staff is going to work as well as Sean McVay does in LA. So no. Look, the whole part about F them picks means is your championship window already open? When the Rams traded for Jalen Ramsey, their window was open. They traded for Jalen Ramsey in 2019. The Rams window we knew was already open because they went to the Super Bowl in 2018. The window was open. F them picks. The Dolphins window, we don't know. do you F them picks? Number two, you're supposed to know your roster extremely well because these trades are not simply about adding a name player. If you say F them picks, you better make sure the player fits your system. And yes, that does go back to Tyreek Hill, but you can name other players where the same thing could go as well. For example, the Rams said F them picks when they traded for Matthew Stafford, right? Sean McVay had to reinvent his offense on the fly for Matthew Stafford. Before Matthew Stafford came in, they would run a lot of bootlegs, a lot of rollouts, and a lot of play action. This is not what Matthew Stafford is about. Matthew Stafford is a traditional drop-back passer. So you better know exactly what you're getting and how to fit him in quickly. I mean, hell, the Rams even had a losing streak when they said F them picks and traded for Von Miller, right? It took a while to figure out how Von Miller fit in. So will some of these teams reinvent their playbooks for F them picks? We don't know. We don't know. The other thing is you absolutely have to hit on every single pick because a high round pick for another team is a first round, second round pick. The Rams have to hit on their third round pick, their fourth round pick, etc. Those players are expected to play right away, which means your coaches have to be able to get them coached up to speed right away. Here's your playbook, dude. You're on the field in a couple of weeks. That's how quick. They draft for type, as in what type of player complements Aaron Donald. Not the name. What type of player complements Aaron Donald? Feel free to say hi to my wife's cat. Because nobody in the NFL ever heard of Greg Gaines, but he compliments Aaron Donald because he's where Aaron Donald is not. He is the run stopper. Ernest Jones now has to compliment Bobby Wagner, and so on and so forth. The Rams are expecting those picks to play early. If you're a fourth round pick, get your playbook and get to work because Jordan Fuller is now expected to be the starting cornerback. Josh Reynolds, Tutu Atwood, they're expected to be the number 3 wide receiver now. Do you expect the Chicago Bears to hit on their mid to late round draft picks? I don't. And therein lies the rub. So the Rams do have a method to the madness, but I think only the Rams can run it effectively. The other teams, they're still trying to figure it out. That's what makes them reckless, not the LA Rams. I just don't think the other front offices can do it. If you try to play like the Rams in the front office, you will wind up losing to the Rams when you're on the field. Because they know exactly what they're trying to do, and you're still trying to figure it out. So, I invite you to comment and let me know where you think I'm right or wrong. If you enjoyed today's broadcast, by all means, like and subscribe to Faithful Angelenos. We're trying to build something here. Thank you very much for watching. I'm James. Faithful Angelenos is a Quien Corta El Queso production. Take care. Bye-bye.